When my mum was at home, she wasn't sat down, feet up, watching TV. She was washing, she was cleaning, she was making dinner. My dad, if he wasn't sleeping, was getting ready to go to work or taking me to go to football. So like they instilled that, both literally telling me, but also by showing me from a very early age about working hard. And from where they started of being on like council estates, being in very poor families, to like now where they are today, of like not so much my dad because he's done the same thing, but my mum has like grown and progressed.
Do you feel like if you look at so do you think if you look at yourself right now and then compare yourself to your friends, people do you feel like on average you work harder than most people? Like when you just look at people around, like in your life.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm not talking about like Gary Vee.
Well, Gary Vee, no one can work harder than Gary Vee. But yeah, in general, yes. There's always caveats to that. If I'm comparing to people that I grew up with, then I would say yes. Knowing what they've done, kind of what they do now. Unfortunately, I don't stay in contact with a lot of my friends from school because they went off on a different path. And that's all to do with work and life and drugs and whatnot. They all chose that path, whatever. So I probably could say, yeah, maybe I do work harder than some of them, but I can't say for certain because there might be some of those who might be builders, who might be working with their hands. They might be laborers, and they might technically actually work harder than me every day. Right, but they chose the wrong path.
Okay. I'm not talking about that. Like I'm talking about like work ethics, meaning
and from the work ethic, then yes, and it's like because I'm not gonna sit here and say I worked smart to get where I am. I didn't. I worked hard, and I used to. So, for example, growing a page on Instagram, some people know, not everyone knows. We would obviously respond to our comments. Right, part of like the engagement process, respond to comments, comment on their page, build that reciprocity. Now imagine this: if I'm getting 200 comments on my posts, I need to reply to 200 comments. I also made it a mission to comment on their post as well. Right, so straight away that's 400 messages, comments, and replies. And
that's crazy.
Right, so I used to stay
to comment on their posts too. Like that's
I used
crazy.
to do that as well. Yeah, so that's how I done it. So I used to stay up until 2 a.m. doing that. Which not many people know. But I knew no one else was doing that.
I was doing that.
Yeah, but other people. But
I mean, maybe not as much as you, but
yeah, but that's why
I was doing more than average. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the point. So that's the work ethic.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's the advantage compared to others.
My parents raised me like that too, and it's kind of like those kind of things cannot be taught. Like somebody can't be like, "Hey, work like it." You actually have to watch, be in the environment, because both you and I grew up watching with our own eyes every single day what hard work looks like. Right. So now we have a bar set for hard work. We're like, okay, this is where I have to be, right?
Yeah.
But then if let's say somebody grew up here. Let's say they're like, okay, just come home, Netflix and blah, blah, blah. And they're, like then their version of hard work is here. Your version of his hard work is here. So we can say hard work all we want. But if you don't know what hard work, and that's why I get so frustrated when I talk to people nowadays, and I'm like, somebody started a business a year ago, and they're like, "Oh, I've been working my ass off," and blah, blah, blah. And like, what have you done? And then I actually like dig into like how many hours he works, and it's like, dude, you're not working hard at all.
Yeah, no, 100%. And even with like my page, when it took off, like the highlight is I started my page, and 9 months later, I was at 100,000 followers. Amazing, right? But people forget I spent 3 or 4 years before that on Instagram trying to figure things out and then working on it and testing. It's like that also happened. It's like, and people forget that. Or they don't realize that I stayed up until 2 a.m. sometimes, most nights, responding to comments, or I had to take time away from family gatherings and whatnot to go and make content or to do X, Y, and Z, or whatever it might be. And that's not like I don't say that's like a pity me sob story. It's like, no, that's just a reality. So if you want to have that outsized return, that doesn't mean that everyone here has to go and do that exact same thing. It just means that everyone who's in the same space,
if you want that result,
if you want a result, you just you have to find an advantage somewhere.